Hi there. Welcome to my channel. My name is Pam. Today I'm going to do a video about the mark of the beast. And the reason why I'm going to do the video is because we need to probably straighten out a few errors that we have. And I've seen a lot of videos talking about this and a lot of people talking about the mark of the beast in ways that they're not scriptural. And we need to really focus on what the Word of God says about it and not what we think about it, or get off on all of these crazy tangents. But by the time we're done, you're going to know exactly, you're going to know some things about the mark, hopefully, for sure, so that you can dispel these crazy ideas and rumors and theories and whatever else. So I'm going to start out today by reading Revelation chapter 13, verses 16 through 18. And it says, also it causes all, both small and great, both rich and poor, both free and slave, to be marked on the right hand or the forehead, so that no one can buy or sell unless he has the mark, that is, the name of the beast or the number of its name. This calls for wisdom. Let the one who has understanding calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. So in all the theories that I came across and the ideas that I came across, there's a few things that they actually agree on. And that would be that they believe that people will be completely aware when they take the mark that they're rejecting God, and that they are actually signing an allegiance, so to speak, with the Antichrist. And they believe that this will allow them to buy or sell. This will be something that it's in the word, so it's pretty obvious that would be something that we should agree on. But the thing about that they do not agree on, so there are some that believe that the number 666 is merely symbolic, and then there are those who believe that it's a literal number. Okay, so and this is difficult. So the number 6 is the number of a man, because Adam was created on the 6th day. That much we know. It says it's a number of a man. There are those that believe that the 3 sixes represent an evil trinity, which would be the Antichrist, the false prophet, and Satan. Now, I mean, that's possible, but it says it's a number of a man. And, you know, some believe that the sixes may make up just a portion of the mark. So it could be 666, 2040 or something, you know, who knows. But somehow that those sixes are part of the mark. And then others believe it's not at all used. Like I said, it's not literal. So, you know, and that's where I get off onto this other part. Now there are two areas of this. So you have the side that believe that the mark is literal, and then the other side that believes it's not a literal mark. Okay. Now the side that says it's not a literal mark, which I don't agree with, but I'm going to go over this and you'll see why. Revelation chapter 7 verse 3. They base it on the fact that there is an invisible mark in Revelation chapter 7 verse 3 during the tribulation that he seals the 144,000 with, okay? Because that involves an invisible seal, okay? It's not a mark, it's a seal. And in Deuteronomy chapter 6 verses 8 through 9, you can read how he said, he was talking about the commandments of God, you know, the words of God. You shall bind them as a sign on your hand, and they shall be as frontlets between your eyes, okay? He was talking about, you know, keeping them in your heart, basically, sticking to them, you know, having an allegiance to the Lord. That was the idea there. And also the invisible seal when we accept Christ. This is another thing that they use to support their theory. Because when we accept Christ, he gives us this seal. But the thing is the word that's used, for the Lord's seal is a very different word in the Greek. Okay? So, and it means to stamp with a private mark, to keep something secret, to protect or preserve the sealed object. So the Lord's seal is for protection, much like the seals in tribulation and during the tribulation and Revelation. And so it's preserve. And, as the Lord always does, he preserves, he protects, and he sets us apart. And that's precisely what the Lord's seal does. But, and they use verses like John 6:27, 2 Timothy 2:19, Revelation 9:4, where it talks about putting the seal of God on their foreheads as a matter of protecting them. But this is the evidence that I found, okay? And this was interesting. And I've heard a few people talk about this, but the Greek words used here for God's seal versus the word for the Antichrist mark, they are very different words. When God seals his people, the Greek root word used, okay, means a signet or signature expressing value and protection. So a very different meaning. We are valued and protected, and we belong to him. But the mark of the Antichrist is a word used to describe a branding of livestock or animals. Okay? So this is literally a mark in the skin. So we know based on that it's not a mark that's placed under the skin. This is a branding. This is a branding type. We don't know exactly what that will look like, but it will be a physically visible branding that people will receive that take the mark of the beast. That is absolutely true, okay? And the marks have different meanings, obviously. I mean, when you look, the seal of God symbolizes divine ownership and protection. It's a very different thing than the enemy who says his mark signifies allegiance and worship of Satan. That's essentially so they have very different meanings. And of course it would be different. They're not going to be the same. So you have the seal of God on one hand, and you have the mark of the enemy on the other, going to be entirely different. And so to say, and this is why I wanted to get, look at this particular theory about it not being a literal mark, because the Word of God actually proves that it is a literal mark. It's a branding on our skin, okay? It is something that we will know that we're getting. And I say that because I believe, if you look at salvation, we absolutely know that we are swearing an allegiance, so to speak, to God when we get saved. We know what we're doing. We are choosing him. And the Lord wants us to choose him. He isn't going to allow us to be tricked into choosing the enemy, because he wants us to choose him. So, it's going to be literal somehow, a literal mark in the skin. We don't know if the number 666 will be in combination with other numbers, or, how it's going to play out. We don't know. But it will be about an allegiance to him. And if we do not align ourselves with him and swear allegiance to him, we will not be able to buy food. We will not be able to sell. We will not be able to do, any of those things. and we will die. If you don't take it, you will die. So we know those things. And I really hope that it does lay to rest some of the crazy things I've heard out there, because they're not biblical. And we need to stay grounded in the Word of God. Otherwise, we are going to veer off into all kinds of craziness and be deceived. And you can't live in a life of deception if you're a Christian. You have to stick to truth. That is the most important thing. But anyway, I hope that helps clear some of this up. And I really do pray that you come back another day and we can get to know each other and build community here. So thank you. Bye.